Britical Saiyans here. I'm Jonah.
And I'm Matt.
And we've got the Yellow Frieza swap deck from set 21. Do you still have a name for it?
Yes, 21.
Yeah.
I had to really think that one through. Yeah, it's right in front of me, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to be a tit about it, does it? We don't know whether this is the whole deck. We're hoping this is going to be the whole deck. So, but if we have to come back, obviously we will come back and come back to the rest of it. But anyway, so Frieza, which we kind of knew was coming anyway because of the
Goku
Vegeta stuff that we already covered with the Frieza card that was going, it can go in both decks, yay. And also the fact that it said an 8 cost SR, and it was like, well, 8 cost Frieza, I say SR, 8 cost Frieza, is like, but the only one that exists is like several years old.
It's garbage.
So, but with this Frieza, they've given him Swap. So they've brought Swap back, because it was, originally it was Goku's lineage, then it was Frieza, Red Frieza.
Yeah.
And then Red Broly. Oh no, there was black decks as well. But anyway, either way, Swap is back.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what Swap actually does, it's a keyword that means that you can play higher cost battle cards for cheaper cost by tagging out the previous one.
Yeah.
So you just go bounce, bring out, bounce, bring out. I hope that's explained it enough.
It's like evolving, just you don't place the cards underneath, you put them back in your hand.
Yeah. So it's got a permanent where you reduce the skill cost of Swap on your yellow Frieza cards by 1 yellow.
Really useful.
Yeah, just make them easier to bring out.
Yeah.
And then also, if you have 2 or more energy, when you activate Swap on one of your yellow Frieza cards, you may flip this card to its backside. If you do, draw 2 cards and you got 6 left. So the alternative Awaken, basically.
Yeah.
Activate main once per turn. You look at the top 5 cards on top of your deck. Add up to 1 the return of the Army of Terror or a yellow Frieza. Okay, and then you add one. Then you add it to your hand and then shuffle your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen that card? I can't remember.
Well, the Army of Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, okay. And then Awaken. We also have 4 less. Draw a card. Get energy back. The likelihood is, unless your opponent is somehow turn 2, turn 1, taking you down to 4 life, or if you really want to be at 4S life and get that Awaken, you're going to be doing the auto.
Yeah.
Like, as the most common thing is going to happen. Right. I'm going to be going back and forth a few times at the moment. So the Awaken side is got the same permanent, because otherwise if we lost a permanent it'd be a bit crap, to be honest. And then you got 2 autos. First one, once per turn, when you activate Swap, you get to draw a card. So an alternative way of drawing other than attacking, which is good, because it just means you don't have to put the pressure on with your leader then. And then you got auto once per turn. Well, you don't. Yeah, you know what I mean. Then you auto once per turn with one of your yellow Frieza cards with Swap and an energy cost of 3 or more attacks. You look at up to 3 cards on top of your deck. Use up to 1 yellow Frieza army in a combo with its skills negated for turn. Then place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is really good because this can give you free Z energy without you using hand or board.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
So we got a Z leader of Golden Frieza Shining Emperor. So you pay 1 yellow free ZNG. When your life's at 4 less, you has to go onto the Frieza for this deck because it's specifically the Emperor's War Revenge. Z stack 1 yellow Frieza army with an energy cost of 1. Permanent reduces skill cost of Swap on your yellow Frieza cards by 1 yellow and 2 energy, which is really good.
Yeah.
When this card is placed in the lead area, draw 1 card, then remove this card from the game at the end of your opponent's turn. So it only stays there temporarily, but it's kind of
gives you a 20k power leader for yours and your opponent's turn.
Yeah, it gives you 20k leader, gives you a cheaper swap cost, and I think it's trying to match the fact that Frieza couldn't stay golden for long in the movie.
Yes, yeah.
Or arc. And its secondary auto is when your yellow Frieza with an edge cost of 5 or more attacks. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Use up to 1 yellow Frieza army in a combo with its skills get for a turn. The place remain bottom in the order. So
just changing how it works slightly.
Yeah, this has to be a high cost Frieza.
That is attacking, and that one's just 3 or more attacks.
Yeah.
So that one's just making it a bit more difficult. So the first Z battle card, that's a 1 cost with 3 Z energy, which makes sense because of what the Z leader does for the Z stacking. It's got 2 autos. First one, when this card is played, you may add 1 yellow Frieza with energy cost of 1 from your drop to your hand. If you do, play up to 1 yellow Frieza from your hand with an energy cost of 3 and swap. That is really good.
Yeah.
Like just getting a free cost onto the board that's got the swap ability.
And you get a card back to your hand.
Yeah. For 1 energy is really, really good, because then you can just use that one you just put out with the cheaper swap skill to then go into the next one. Also, I mean, another benefit of swap means you could always just swing with a lower card first before you tag out.
Yeah.
So that was another thing about swap. It was like, yeah. And then its other auto is you add 1 card from your life to your hand, you discard 1 card from your hand, and switch this card to rest mode. When your yellow Frieza with energy cost of 3 is played, play out 1 yellow Frieza army token with a power of 10,000 at the end of the turn, and then that card gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. Okay, so you get a token at the end of your turn which gains a blocker.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. The fact that this is yellow token, I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make, because normally tokens are just colourless, aren't they? They're just like, so and such army token, so and such army token, or whatever.
It might have an impact on anything to do with yellow Frieza army cards, but
I think anything that's just like says yellow battle card, yellow whatever it is, obviously it has.
Yeah.
It opens that card to be a target.
So we've got Sorbet Emperor Subjects. So 1 cost for 1 ZNG. It's got unique at 4k. It's got 2 autos. So the first being, if you place 2 of your ZNG into your drop, when 1 of your yellow battle cards is played by skill, play this card from under 1 of your Z leaders, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 7 or less and switch to rest mode. So that's obviously the one you stack under the leader. And when this card is played, look at 5 cards at the top of your deck. Add up to 1 return the army of terror to your hand. Shuffle your deck. If you add the card, discard the card.
Trade off.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got Tiger Mile.
Tiger Mile.
Yeah. 3 cost 20k. Auto, limit 1, paying a yellow. If your leader card is yellow Frieza, when your life is placing a drop, play this card from your hand. Does the awakening go to drop? Does it, or does it go to hand? I have 1 card from your life to your hand. Oh, right, okay. So,
I guess
unless there's something else in the deck, I'm not sure that effect's really going to be relevant. Unless, of course, you paid a crit you or something.
Yeah.
But unless it goes for a different deck. Then you got activate main once per turn. Choose up to 1 of your yellow Frieza cards, and it gains 5k power per turn.
Which is pretty good.
Just giving something 5k. Could be support for something older, couldn't it?
Yeah. So you got Frieza bits of screen. So 1 cost 4k. It's got deflect barrier. Swap 3 by paying a yellow. So you swap them into a yellow Frieza with an energy cost of 3 and swap. And also, if your leader is a yellow Frieza, when this card is played, you may add 1 yellow Frieza with swap from your ZNG to your hand. If you do, add 1 card from your hand to your ZNG.
So a lot of tagging out for the ZNG, which is good, because looking at the top X amount means you can then set up for what you want your Z energy to then combo with your other cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of forward thinking in this deck.
That's good.
So we got Sorbet. He's 2 cost, 5k, counter attack, limit 1, negate your attack and play this card. Permanent, if your leader card is yellow Frieza Z leader, you can activate his card's counter skill from your hand without paying his energy cost. Okay. Activate battle, once per turn, choose to 1 of your yellow Frieza cards with swap and it gains 5k per turn. I think it's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty useful.
A free counter that actually does negate goes onto the board, and then you're being able to just do the activate battle. And if
Yeah.
it sticks around, you can then do, if you're in the Z leader, you can do it again for free, because the only thing that's limit 1 is him negating and playing. So, a vanilla to cost 20k. Okay.
So you got Survey Pursuing Deepest Desires. It's a 2 cost 5k. You've got Auto Limit 1. When one of your yellow Frieza cards with swap is removed from the battlefield by an opponent's skill, play this card from your hand. And when this card is played, play it from one yellow Frieza with an edge cost of 1 and swap from your drop.
I like.
Yeah.
That's really good. So on to a 5 cost Frieza now. 5 cost Frieza, 20k power. He's got barrier and blocker, and he swaps into an 8 cost for 2 yellow, 2 colours, but obviously effects will change that. So if you got 4 or more energy, and you swap into an 8 cost Frieza. Auto limit 1, if you have 3 or more energy, when this card is played by swap, this card gains dual attack for a turn. And he's got auto once per turn when your opponent plays a battle card, choose one of those cards and negate that card's skill for a turn. One of those cards.
In case they play more than one.
I suppose, yeah. So it's Cold Bloodlust.
Essentially.
It might be worded in a weird way, but
when your opponent plays battle cards, choose one of those cards. Oh, so yeah, if they play multiple battle cards, you can then negate one of the card's skills.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking if they play a battle card, can then you choose a card that's already on the board and negate its skills?
Well, you choose up to one of the cards that they're playing. Because it says choose up to one
Well,
of
this is
those
why the
cards.
wording's a bit...
No, it just says choose one of those cards. So when cards are being played, you choose one of them.
So it has to be the one that's played.
Yeah, it has to be one that's being played.
They could have worded that slightly in a different way that made it just yeah, I don't know. It might just be the way I'm reading it then. I don't know.
I won't worry about it. So you've got Frieza Cold-Hearted Behaviour. So 3 cost 19k. So swap 5 for paying 2 yellow into a Frieza with cost of 5 in the swap skill. And auto limit 1. When this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode. And if that card has an edge cost of 4 less, KO that card.
That seems oddly familiar. That seems like a Gohan.
Pretty much.
Literally, the Gohan did exactly the same thing.
Yeah, the
Apart from it didn't put it in rest mode, it just killed something in rest mode.
Yeah. So it's just forcing stuff into, because the deck doesn't put stuff in rest mode itself, so it's just adding that clause.
Yeah. But that is pretty much what Gohan did.
Yeah.
So another 3 cost Frieza. He's got also 19k power. Okay, we're going to see a lot of like mirroring type things here from the looks of things. So yeah, you swap into a 5 cost and it has to have swap. That's another thing. Like, I'm pretty sure the old swap, they didn't actually have to have swap themselves that you swap into.
No, they didn't.
So that's another thing they've added. You got auto limit 1. When this card attacks, you look at up to 3 cards on top of your deck. Use up to 1 yellow Frieza army with your skills negated for a turn in a combo. Place the rest of the bottom deck in any order. Okay, so 3 comboing.
Yep. So you got another 5 cost Frieza. He's got 20k power. Swap 8 by paying 2 yellow and 2 energy when you're on 4 or more into the 8 cost. And it's got alternate 1. When this card is played by swap, choose one of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, switch it to rest mode, and this card can't be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skill until the end of your opponent's turn. Additionally, if you have 3 or more energy, this card gains double strike for a turn.
Because you can bring it out earlier. But
Yeah.
it depends when you want to, if you want to have that double strike or not.
I think you would.
Yeah, well, yeah, so you'd want to try and save it for the double strike turn.
Yeah.
So now we got the extra card, the return of the Army of Terror. Oh, that's the searchable card.
Yes.
Damn.
Did you not read the name when you saw it?
No. Do I hell? Do I really read the names of the cards sometimes? Like, I just... Unless it's really, really relevant, I don't bother.
It's really relevant to this friggin' deck.
I just didn't really think about it. Plus, also, they reveal these cards like days apart, don't they? So it's like, unless you really go back and double check. Leave me alone. It's 0 cost. It's got an activate main and an activate battle. The activate main is add up to 1 yellow Frieza with the swap skill and an energy cost of 5 or less from your deck to your hand and shuffle your deck. For those who played years ago, there was a similar thing for when he first introduced swap, and it was an extra card that 0 cost as well, but it wasn't an SR.
Successor of Hope.
That card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goku's lineage.
Yeah. And that card was insane. But it didn't have an activate battle. It literally was just that activate main.
Yeah.
And that was it. But the activate battle, limit 1. If your leader is a Frieza, Emperor who swore revenge, or a yellow Frieza Z leader. So you have to be awakened or on the Z leader.
Mm-hmm.
Which you'd be on a Z leader if you're awakened anyway. Maybe. And your lives at 4 or less, which, I mean, obviously they've had to put that thing, the 4 or less life, because if you're not on the Z leader, but you are awakened, you might not be on 4 or less life. So, yeah. You choose up to 1 of your yellow Frieza cards and it gets 5k power for a turn. Why couldn't Successor of Hope done this as well?
Because back when the game wasn't too out of control. And we got Golden Frieza Evolved Emperor, which is another SR. It's our 8 cost. He's got 30k, deflect, double strike, dual attack. Permanent. When this card would leave the battle area, add this card to your Z energy instead, which is such a good skill.
Yeah, that skill there is fantastic because it's like your opponent deals with it, you get 3 Z energy.
Yeah. If you combo it, you get 3 Z energy.
Yeah, in the past, cards like we've seen cards like this when they go, when I leave, they physically just go, and you never see that card again. It's gone, unless you run multiple copies. But besides the point, it's gone. This going into the Z energy, if your opponent gets rid of it, is just, I love it. 3 Z energy is always a bonus.
Yeah, and there's ways to add it back from Z energy because there's the 1 cost Frieza. I think you can add 1 back, unless it has to swap skill. I don't know, but you get a Z energy regardless.
Yeah.
Let's go. Also, when this is played, choose all of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, KO them, and you can't play copies of this card for the turn.
Ew.
And an active main limit 1. If your leader is a yellow Frieza, your opponent has 2 or more energy, and you remove this card from your Z energy, and the top 5 cards from your deck from the game. Play up to 1 yellow Frieza with an energy cost of 1 and swap from your hand.
Right. The activate main I can only see coming up if you're going for game.
Yeah.
Which is the idea from my understanding, because you wouldn't just do it.
Yeah, it's very much like a push play or a recovery play. If you know that you've basically been board wiped and this is ZNG and you need to basically try and bounce back into something big, you're like, right, well, I'll do this to save myself playing out a card with an energy and then go from there.
Yeah. And then go back up your chain.
Yeah.
But this is a powerhouse card.
It is really good.
30k power, dual attack, double strike, deflect. Ow! I think this is the last card, isn't it? So they've basically just given a super combo for the deck. Like, literally, it's 4 less life, draw a card. The relevant things, the fact that it's Frieza's army and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you don't have to use this.
But there is a benefit.
But there's small benefits to using it. So, but at the end of the day, I could probably see just sticking with Krillin anyway, just because.
I mean,
or doing a split or something.
I feel like a split because there are ways to use Frieza army cards in the combo from deck. So this would just give you a free 10k combo.
It negates the skills. No, the cards are combo from the deck negate skills.
Yeah. it doesn't need a skill for the combo power.
Oh, well, yeah, for the 10k power, yeah.
Yeah, which is the main thing.
I suppose.
Because they are they're putting it on these 4 less ones just so like you can use them earlier on. It's just that you only draw 1 card.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh well. Alright then, guys. Hopefully that is the whole deck. And we'll see something new. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave any thoughts and comments below. Hit that sub button. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.